Before we begin, let me set the stage for our viewers. What sparked this discussion was a viral dance sequence featuring actress Ananya Panday, a performance that many viewed simply as a cinematic interpretation of Bharatanatyam quickly became the center of fierce debate. Social media was divided. Some argued that classical dance forms were being diluted and misrepresented, while others felt the criticism was excessive and unfair. But perhaps the bigger question is this: why does a few seconds of dance trigger such strong emotions? Is it because classical art occupies a special place in our cultural identity? Or are we expecting actors and filmmakers to be judged by standards meant for trained classical performers? After all, Ananya Pandey is not a Bharatanatyam exponent. She is an actor performing a role in a film. Joining us today is renowned choreographer and performer Sandeep Soparkar, who has been a prominent voice in the world of dance nationally and internationally, and has strongly advocated for artistic interpretation and evolution in the performance. Welcome, Sandeep.
Thank you so much.
We are also honored to have Guru Vijay Shankarji with us, a truly multifaceted personality. Besides being an acclaimed Kuchipudi and Kathakali cultural commentator whose insights have shaped conversations around Indian dance for decades. Welcome, Guruji.
Thank you. Thank you.
We are also joined by Rekha Paladi, a distinguished Bharatanatyam guru with extensive training and experience across multiple Indian classical dance forms, including Kathak, Odissi, and Mohiniyattam. She brings the perspective of a practitioner deeply rooted in India's classical traditions. Welcome, Rekha.
Thank you so much.
And representing the audience, we have theatre and contemporary creative viewpoint with AJ. AJ is a versatile writer director whose work spans theatre, short films, documentaries, miniseries, commercials, and now a Marathi feature film. He joins us to offer the perspective of the modern viewer and storyteller engaging with art in today's world. Welcome, AJ.
Thank you, Urvashi. Thank you for inviting me.
Now let us see what we are really debating. Sandeep sir, let me start with you. People are calling this outrage overreaction. You have defended the performance. What exactly are critics getting wrong?
Firstly, when I saw this for a couple of days, I was quiet because I thought there's no point in responding. But when I saw it was just getting over the top, I thought it was best to just speak up. And I'm so glad I did because Ananya is my student. She learned to dance with me even before she became the Ananya Pandey, the film actress. And I thought it was so negative nowadays on social media that for every small little thing, they want to criticize. I think it's time we should learn to appreciate. And if you don't like something, just keep your mouth shut and move on to the next one.
I think that's a very, very clear viewpoint that you have. If you cannot appreciate something, better not to say anything.
Yeah.
I would like views of Guruji onto this. Guruji, if someone uses Bharatanatyam inspired movements but alters the grammar of the form, will it still be called Bharatanatyam?
Well, see, it's unfair to judge something which is shown in the movie. The traditional media is different from what happens in a movie, because
Mm-hmm.
this is a more commercial level. It's not related to Indian classical dance. So, firstly, we have to understand what is the perspective, what is the perception behind the presentation, and not just simply criticize without knowing what is to be shown or what is the view of the director or the choreographer in the dance presentation. That basic understanding should be there. We can't just criticize something just outright. That's important.
Very, very rightly said. Maybe Rekha, can I have your views? Have you mistaken criticism for trolling and trolling for criticism?
See, I think trolling at any level is bad. At
Mm-hmm.
any level, anything. It could be dance, it could be what. It is bad. You should never troll something. And people today are saying things about the actress who is I don't think she has anything to do with it. She has just done what the choreographer has told her to do. That is her job. So telling her that she is not done properly is a wrong thing. Yes, tradition, art, culture is very important for us. As a dancer, I will also feel bad. So maybe next time they could change the attire or take out the Natraja or something like that. Maybe. But for us to sit here and judge people who are doing this, that I think is wrong.
Bringing in AJ to the conversation. AJ, as an ordinary viewer, when you watch a dance performance, are you judging the technical correctness or emotional impact?
So as an audience, I don't think anybody is judging on based on the technical level. It's all
Mhm.
about, is it looking good or is it looking bad? And like you mentioned, right? The other panelist also mentioned that trolling is bad, which we all agree. But the lines
Right,
of criticism and trolling are blurred these days. So even
right,
the
right.
reviewers are trolling. My point of view is that I'm not a classical dancer, unlike other esteemed panel on this panel. My thing is that I look at something. If I like it, it's fine. If I don't like it, I let it go. Like Sandeep sir mentioned.
Yeah.
But I will give another point of view. Let me bring in, say, like, suppose if it was Deepika Padukone doing that, would you still criticize the same way that you have criticized or trolled Ananya Pandey?
Very rightly said. Very, very rightly said.
If Deepika Padukone was doing a spin-off or of Bharatanatyam, would you still troll her? Or if it was, say, like a South Indian A star doing it? So, like Guruji also mentioned, there should be a context when you judge or criticize. You should know the context. Why is it's being done? So that's my point of view.
Thank you, AJ, for bringing that. That, of course, criticizing or trolling is easy, but you should be knowing who the artist. You do it based on your own perception.
Where they were saying, "Oh, nepo kid, nepo kid, nepo kid, nepo
Yes,
kid."
Nepo
Well,
trend.
where was all these words when even Raj Kapoor's G was a nepo kid, right?
Yeah.
Prithviraj Kapoor also was a star in his days. So was Anil Kapoor a star in his days because his father
Right,
Surinder Kapoor was a big film producer. Let's look at it. Everybody, Nutan, Tanuja, all of them have been big stars and their kids have been into movies. That time we
right.
never spoke about nepo kids. Now suddenly why are we talking about nepo kids? Even in Indian classical dance also, you have big dancers whose kids and whose daughter-in-laws and whose kids have gone down into doing the same profession. You don't call them nepo kids. So where is this question of the word nepo kid coming in? If you, I just don't find this the right terminology being used. If somebody is capable enough of reaching a certain platform, they will reach the platform. Yes, I absolutely understand that with connections you can do better. Same as Indian classical dancers, when their fathers or grandfathers were diggaj in their respective fields, they have gotten easy entry into Khajuraho festivals, easy entry into
Right.
SNA awards because of nepotism. So then let's talk about nepotism there as well, not only talk about nepotism in films.
Exactly, exactly. Sandeep sir, coming on to this one particular thing, when we talk of Bollywood, can Bollywood claim inspiration from a classical art form without being held accountable to its standards?
Absolutely. I think they definitely can because we, as filmmakers, as choreographers, we watch dances happening all over the world, including dances in our own
Right,
country. And we can take
right,
cinematic liberties. That is why it's cinema. If we have to present something authentically, we would rather do a stage show and present it in its original form. But when it is cinema, we need to reach to masses. We need to reach global cinema. And today, Indian cinema has reached the world. I must give the taste of India with the taste of others. So in your own home, when you're having a chicken tikka pizza, you love it very much because it's a mix of Italian with Indian, right? So why it does not happen the same when it comes to music and dance in our country? So let's not have two separate faces. And I think as a choreographer, I do have the
mhm,
liberty to take and make my dance look whatever I think is right based on my director's vision. And my
yes,
artist supports me. My artist can have a say in the matter, but most of the time the artists follow choreographers, they follow the director, they follow the producer, and of course the trends, because we need to feed people what they want to see, and of course if possible make a change. But if our film is not based on that, then why should we do that? And more so, I got angry because it all came in even before the movie got released. So have you seen the film? Do you know the background? If not, then let's not speak.
Yeah, yeah, that's very right.
Yeah, Guruji, before we conclude the conversation, as Sandeep sir very rightly mentioned, that Bollywood can take inspiration from all the dance forms because it has to reach out to masses. Help me understand this thing. Who decides authenticity? The guru,
See,
the audience,
both
or
are,
the time itself?
see, whatever happens in the society is shown in movies, So, like movies like Devdas, where Kathak is shown so glorified. And one of the reasons a lot of youngsters are taking to Kathak is because they've seen it, Madhuri performing and
Mhm.
actually all these things does matter, So, but if it's a classical movie where classical dance is of most important, then we can see it in a different perspective. But if it is a
Right.
masala movie, like most Hindi movies, then we should understand what is the vision of the director or the
Exactly.
writer and not just simply criticize, which is not fair.
Exactly. This actually demotivates the artist him or herself because they have put in a lot of effort. What their choreographer has suggested, what their director has suggested, or what the people want to see, as Sandeep sir mentioned. And then after putting so much effort, if this kind of stuff come in, that really is demotivating. AJ, help me understand this.
Yeah.
Would a teenager discover Bharatanatyam through a classical recital or through a popular culture first? What will capture his attention first? What do you think?
Depends. I mean, I have a nephew who is into Bharatanatyam for the last 15 years. His parents got him into this through popular
Okay.
culture. So when I say popular culture, it's like in my family, we are artistic family and we talk a lot about other dance forms. So Bollywood, yes. I won't say Bollywood, I will say Hindi film industry. So in the film industry, yes. The reach that the film industry has, like Sandeep sir also mentioned, that we have to cater to the audience, right? So
Correct.
there might be a 3 year old kid somewhere in Uttarakhand watching a film which has Bharatanatyam, get inspired by that, and then maybe take it up as a profession. Or so so yeah, the reach that film industry gives, like the popular culture that you mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
compared to the classical recitals, that performances, it's much better than the reach that films have on Indian
Right.
audiences or audiences
Right.
across the globe. It's much
Right.
more than the traditional dance performances reaching to them. So I think yes, film industry pushes people into liking something or disliking something for that matter.
So it has a major impact.
Absolutely, it does has a major impact. Yeah.
Now let me put a question to all of you. I would like views of each and every one of you on this one thing. As we're talking about this performance which is inspired by Bharatanatyam, does Bharatanatyam belong to just the Bharatanatyam practitioners or does it belong to every Indian? Maybe I'll start first with Guruji. You.
Well, see, the practitioners who have devoted lots of years, I mean, the traditional practitioners, dance, we have certain technical limitations and the aesthetic quality and the philosophical content and the sahityam. It's all combination of everything which makes classical dance classical. So when it is a movie, it's a different background altogether. So you can't compare the traditional media with the mass culture that is a movie. Each has is got its own role. We as classical dancers, we have to maintain its technical purity, the aesthetic quality, and the philosophy and the mythology all has to come into it. But
Exactly.
when we show classical dance in a movie, attentive to the story or to the choreography, so then the perspective changes. But when we in a traditional performance, we perform according to the shastram and according to the lyrics and the sahityam which is given to us. Accordingly, we show. So again, it depends on what is the subject matter and how you deal with it and how you present it. These aspects are very important. So when classical artists will look at a movie performance, they will think about it in those ways. He, she may be right, may be wrong, but then when it comes to a media like the movie world, it's a different ball game altogether, because you have to get into the larger section of the society. So you
Mm-hmm.
have to what most people like. Classical dance is normally confined to the classical arts and to the classical people. They are the ones who enjoy. It's not for everyone.
Sandeep, in your perspective.
Well, I want to speak about the people who actually commented on it, on
Mm-hmm.
this whole thing. They, like I
Okay.
said, first they spoke about it even before they watched the movie, which was unfair. Secondly, they were only pointing fingers at Ananya Pandey, whereas they must understand the whole thing is not just her job. It's the entire team that goes behind it, including the costume designer, to the set designer, to everyone who's a part of that particular song. So you can't just point finger at one particular person. And secondly, where were these people when the fusion work of mixing Bharatanatyam with the Western dances started?
Mm-hmm.
15 years back, when they started mixing on reality shows, when they started mixing classical art form with Bollywood music and with hip hop and with locking, popping, and all the other whacking and so many other dance forms, they blended into Indian classical art form. Why the so-called watchmen of Indian classical dance did not speak up at that time and say that this is not happening and our culture should be, kept in uh, great watch. What actually went wrong, I feel, is it was just too much pointing finger at one particular person.
Person,
And
yes.
who decides what is the percentage of fusion? Who decides that? And it was easy target because it was a actress who's coming up and who's doing very well for herself. So just put the gun on her, point the gun towards her. I think that was completely uncalled for.
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing has bursted into this racket of two different people wanting to fight with each other. Even till now, it's happening. Though the movie released last week, it's been at more over 10 days now, but still people are fighting over it. But I think the root cause is there is insecurity somewhere. There should be no insecurity because if a culture is strong, 5,000-year-old, deep rooted, it will never have any problems.
It's
If
very
the
true.
roots are strong, if the
It's
roots
true.
are strong, the fruits will be sweet, which they need to understand. And I think it was very sorry to see this whole figure that happened. And my other question is, why don't the Western dancers ever point fingers at the Indian classical dance and say that Indian classical dance has been mixed into Western dance? Why only Indian classical dancers have this problem? I have never heard a Western dancer come and say, Bharatnatyam, why did you mix Bharatnatyam into Western? But Bharatanatyam dancers came and said, why Western was mixed into Bharatanatyam? Come on, give me a break. I think we all dancers have our own space in this world, huge world of dance. Like Rekha ji and we were talking that it's a drop in the whole ocean. And we all are those drops, maybe even the minute of those drops. Let's just enjoy our spaces and let's just not get into this stupid arguments about who's right and who's wrong. Because we all are right in our own respective places.
Exactly. And that much liberty, I think every artist will take to modify his or her art form. AJ, bringing you into the conversation, what do you think? A dance form should be sticking only to those practitioners, or that is countrywide or to a larger mass?
So my point of view is that this dance form or any dance form or any art form belongs to me, but I don't own them.
Rightly said.
So
Very rightly
yeah,
said,
yeah.
AJ.
So I don't own them, and I will tell you like this: 90 or say like 100% of people who are trolling or judging Ananya Pandey or whoever the artist is, they don't know
Right.
nothing about this classical dance. They know nothing about it, but they have to make a comment on that. And again, one more point I would like to add, like Sandeep sir's point of here is that tell me one thing: if Ananya Pandey was playing a classical trained Bharatanatyam dancer like as a character, then if you're judging her is okay. If she's not, it's just a fusion. It's just for that scene or that kind of. It's cinema, right? Cinema is exaggerating so for a song like Ek Chaturanar from Padosan,
Hmm.
it even though it is a classical based song, but it is not. So it's exaggerated to make it comical.
Right.
So that is something they might have done here, I think. Make it a fusion and create some kind of comic scene. But again, like to answer your question, it belongs to me, but I don't own it, so I don't have any right to make comment on.
Let us look into from the social media effect. We did not have such a strong social media, say, a decade ago. Rekha, let me understand it from you. Would this controversy would have even existed without social media? What do you think?
I don't think so. Nowadays, I think everybody is talking about things which they don't understand, first of all. And then they are just, ये होता है ना कि रास्ते में दो लोग झगड़ा कर रहे हैं और किस लिए झगड़ा कर रहे हैं दे डोंट नो आते
Yes.
जाते सब लोग एक एक थप्पड़ मार के जा रहे हैं दैट इज व्हाट इज हैपनिंग हियर दे हैव नो क्लू व्हाट दे आर डूइंग इवन इफ दे आर trained Bharatanatyam or any classical dance exponent I think they agree with something or they disagree with something just like how Sandeep says it. You don't like
Right.
it, you don't watch it, you just move forward. Don't make a big mockery out of it. This has gone blown out of proportion, I think. Okay, I understand as a dancer I will not want to see some moves or something, but still it is the choreographer's vision or whatever. Maybe next time, see, I'm a solution oriented person, so I will see next time maybe they could if I have a heart problem I'll go to a cardiologist. Like that maybe they can go to a exponent who is good at Kathak or who is good at Bharatanatyam and find out what are the don'ts we should do. I think more than the do's, what are the don'ts we can do. So this kind of nonsense controversies will not happen. I think people have too much time at hand to waste. My husband always says we should find a hobby that will
Right.
feed us and have we will not have time to judge others. First, if we start judging and telling ourselves what we have to correct in ourselves, then we will not be quick to judge other people and tell them अरे तुमने ये गलती किया. बहुत आसान है कि you tell somebody else that अरे you have done something wrong, तुमने गलती किया, तुमने ऐसा रखा तुम अरे I don't know how to keep my hand. ये ऐसा रखना है वैसे रखना है I don't know.
The
It is
choreographer of this film is a classical Bharatanatyam dancer. The assistant
okay.
choreographer also is a classical dancer and was
Oh.
a reality show contestant. In Dance India Dance in 2010, the assistant
Oh.
choreographer was one of the contestants who had come for the show. So it's not that the makers have not gotten the classical dancers to come and help them out in the choreography. They have kind of that was the vision of the director. So I don't think pointing finger at one person is absolute. Everybody's
Understood.
vision is different. Everybody's vision is different. There is a lovely Sanskrit shloka which says when Krishna reached to the Kansa to have a fight with him, there was an arena where he entered. Right at that arena, when he was there were different types of people watching him. There was the wrestlers who were going to fight with him. There were the men and the women, the young boys, young girls. Of course, there was Kans himself, and there was gods watching, and everybody looked at Krishna differently. Mallahi Shailendra Kalpaha, Adbhut Rupa Kalpaha, Mitra Kalpaha, Putra Kalpaha. Everybody thought of different ways of looking at him. The Mallahi, the wrestlers thought, oh my god, a giant mountain is standing in front of me. The young men thought, ये तो हमारा
क्या
दोस्त
क्या
है, ये क्या करेगा? The young ladies thought, oh, what a handsome man. I wish we had a lover like that. The men thought, oh, this young boy, it was a teenager. What is he going to do? Fight with this man? The women thought, काश मेरा बेटा ऐसा होता.
क्या
Yamraj,
बात है.
And when Kansa looked at him, he saw death in front of him, and the gods from top saw Vishnu avatar. So for
Yes.
all of
How
us,
you look.
dance is our Krishna. The views of
Yeah.
looking at it is
Right.
different. Person who saw the film, I feel in the film they showed her mother to be a Bharatanatyam dancer.
Yes.
Maybe she comes from a thought process of Bharatanatyam, but she's a college girl who's influenced by Western culture, so is doing her modern dances to it. So of course we always carry what we learn at home to what we get to learn outside. So I
Yes.
think a best one to decide this would be the makers of the film, who
Yes.
who had some vision in his mind. That is why they did what they did. I'm sure they must have had
Yes.
a costume designer to design it for them. So
Exactly.
and so I guess the best is whoever the filmmaker. We have a director here amongst us. Sir is here with us. So it's the director's vision. And as
Yes.
choreographers, as actors, even as makeup artists, what we can do is only suggest to our director what is right, what we feel is right. But finally, it is his call, and let him decide what is best for his own movie.
Yes.
Right, and bringing everybody back to the conversation in the last section of this debate, we have found out some very interesting points. First and foremost, it is director's vision. Second, most
Yes.
importantly, only the performing artist should not be blamed for everything else. That guy or girl has put in a lot of effort into it. Third, the most
Yes.
important thing which I could gather out from here is there is a lot of access given or provided in today's world in media, and hence when people have a lot of time with all of this access provided, I think this unnecessary noise out of beautiful sound that could have come out from this beautiful amalgamation of Bharatanatyam and another dance form, which could have been celebrated, these kind of unnecessary noises are coming in.
At one point, uh,
Yes, Ajay.
yeah.
I
So
will just closing out from your side. 30 seconds.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Adding to what Sandeep sir's point is that cinema is director's medium. It's not actor's medium. Theater is actor's medium. Like a dancer,
Yes.
Mhm.
theater is actor's medium. Cinema is director's medium. If you have to blame anyone, it should be the director. But I'm not saying blame as, but if you have to blame anyone, it is not the artist. So
Right,
yeah, like
right,
Sandeep sir rightly mentioned, right? It is the director's perspective or point of view that has put across on
exactly.
the screen. So yeah,
Right,
that is what I, so cinema is the director's medium. Whatever happens on the screen, it is the director who is running it.
right. And Sandeep sir, as you very rightly mentioned, it is a shared responsibility, not just
बिल्कुल.
only the artist. Any
In fact,
culture will survive.
Urvashi
Yes,
ji,
please.
just sorry to interrupt. I'm reminded of Shakespeare's famous dialogue, all sound and fury signifying nothing.
Exactly, rightly said, rightly said, rightly said. With that, I think this was a great discussion with great perspective, and things have put into really great, clear perspective for the audience, for the Gen Zs who are watching this, that where you should be putting your focus on. It is a shared responsibility, not just to be put on one person. So thank you everybody for joining us.
Thank
This is
you.
Bharat Frontliners. This was
Thank
Urvashi
you
Sharma.
guys.